What's going on, everybody? This is episode 5 of the NERDcast. My name is Lee McConnell, and I am here with my lovely partners in crime, Will. Say hi, Will.
Hi, guys.
And Danny.
Hello.
Go away, Danny.
That was the creepiest hello I've ever heard.
God,
Hey, it doesn't beat my hello Clarice from last episode.
Did you actually say that?
Yeah, I did. And you called it creepy.
Oh, we're starting to see patterns develop already.
You should frighten me.
We're off topic. Let's go.
So our first topic is going to be, just to start off, the Mass Effect 3 DLC announced. And just for the record, we've already talked about we did the spoiler cast kind of thing last time. So
got really emotional. Lee and I have a lot of opinions on that, and it got really emotional.
We might spoil it again, just if you don't want to.
And spoiler warning in 5, 4, 3, 1.
Shepard sees dead people.
Oh, God.
Shepard is your father. But
every time I spoil the ending to something, I just think of that episode of The Simpsons where it's a flashback and Homer and Marge are leaving the theater, and Homer's like, wow, I can't believe Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father.
As everyone's waiting in line for it. So basically, the Mass Effect 3 ending DLC was announced. Was there a title name for that?
No, it's not. It's
extended ending.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's called, wait, no, they're calling it an extended cut.
Okay.
I just did air quotes for those of you who can't see.
No one can see.
No one can see it.
This is audio podcast, but anyway.
Before we get in, one thing before we get into actual content, I'd like to point out that this thing is supposed to be free too.
That's
true.
Yes,
I heard that.
See, this is why I'm actually really happy with this DLC, and I'll talk when you're done talking. So go on.
What could this possibly contain? What could this DLC have in it that is actually pertinent to the ending of DLC or the ending of Mass Effect 3? I can't talk.
Okay, here's a quote from the official blog of Mass Effect Studio BioWare. Are there going to be more different endings or ending DLCs in the future? No. BioWare strongly believes in the team's artistic vision for the end of this arc of the Mass Effect franchise. The extended cut DLC will expand on the existing endings, but no further ending DLC is planned. That's a direct quote from the Mass Effect blog.
Okay, well, if they actually like the artistic team's vision, the artistic team should probably go get an iEye exam. Just an idea.
What was that? I'm sorry, I kind of tuned out there.
Never mind, I made a joke.
Oh yeah, you cut out for a second, so I didn't hear.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just ruined, we can no longer hear your fantastic joke.
And I was saying
Sorry.
if they like the artistic team's vision, they should go get an eye exam.
Oh,
I see that.
Oh.
I see what you did there.
Better the first time around.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
But, so what could this DLC have?
Purple explosion.
A hidden option number 4.
No, I just think it's just gonna have, I think it's just gonna clear up some plot holes, which is all I wanted. That's all I wanted, and that's all I hope I'm getting.
I really wish they would have let us have the option to actually let the Reapers take Earth.
That'd
be the control ending.
Shepard would never, ever do that.
That's the purple ending. Like I said, that's the purple ending. Just Shepard doesn't give a fuck.
You suck so much at the game, then you get that ending.
Everyone was dead in Mass Effect 2 and in 1, and you had no one on your crew for the entire time. But
Shepard gets to the Citadel, meets the little the Star Child, sits down and just says, "I'm tired. I'm done."
And then he dies from internal bleeding.
He dies from internal bleeding. Says, "Do with it what you will."
Or he gets to talk to the Star Child, and it's just like, "Come on, let us take Earth." And Shepard's like, "No, we'll give you candy." Okay.
Okay. You have a choice between red, blue, and green.
And purple. Or what's behind door number 2.
Go.
However, that's going to cost you an extra $1.99 on the Xbox 360 Marketplace or PlayStation Store.
Okay, sorry, Danny?
This is, what I have disagreed with what BioWare did with the ending, because I said in the last podcast that they dropped the ball horribly. Because I honestly think that they dropped the ball horribly. The fact that they're giving this away for free Because free and Electronic Arts do not go hand in hand.
No.
That does not go hand in hand. The fact that they're releasing this for free is like...
Well, do you guys remember all the promises and stuff they made before the game?
Yeah, like look at what Casey Hudson said. I read this quote on last week's as well. They made promises and they didn't deliver. They dropped the ball, and this is their way of making up for it. But I don't want a new ending because I've already played the game. I finished the game. I already got an ending. I don't want to see a different ending. It's not going to mean as much.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? I think it was in Podcast Beyond's spoiler cast. They talked about to drop another podcast name, but they talked about if they do release a new ending, which I don't think that is what they're doing, but if they did release a new ending, then what was that I saw before? Just garbage?
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I mean. Like, it'll make everything I saw before meaningless. Like, I played till the end of the game, and it was nothing. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, that ending, if you think about it, the indoctrination theory aside, let's not even think about that right now, even though it makes more sense than what I actually think. The ending is actually logical to a degree. There are a lot of flaws in the ending. Oh god, yeah. But the destroying of the mass relays in the Citadel makes sense if you take the destroy ending. However, like I said last time, if you take the control ending and the synthesis ending, it shouldn't destroy anything. Nothing should be destroyed. But with the destroy ending, you're destroying the Reapers. The Reapers created the Citadel and the mass relays. Therefore, the mass relays in the Citadel, I almost said Shitadel. The mass relays in the Citadel should go with them.
Oh yeah, well I was never arguing that point. The part I was arguing was that in the Arrival DLC, at the end of the Mass Effect 2, they said that the Mass Effect, well they said that it destroyed a whole freaking galaxy, or a whole star system.
Destroyed all the Milky Way. No, if you look at the Arrival DLC, what happened, like the explosion was caused by the caused by the Element Zero core that powers the mass relay. If you look at the end of Mass Effect 3, the beam shoots and it hits the Element Zero core, and the Element Zero core shoots to another relay. So the Element Zero core just doesn't explode. It doesn't explode. It just destabilizes and causes a collapse.
Which would cause a black hole engulfing the entire star system.
That's more science that we need to speak talking for. But if you look at it differently, like the mass relays didn't blow up. They just, well, actually, yeah, they actually kind of did. But they didn't blow up in the same way that they blew up in Arrival, because in Arrival they flew a comet into the whole thing, and that just caused the whole thing to blow up, the Element Zero core and all. In this one, if you look closely, like when the beam hits the mass relay, the Element Zero core starts spinning rapidly and then fires again. So all the energy from that one Element Zero core is firing to another relay, then fires to another relay, then fires to another relay.
While we're on the topic of controversies in the endings, one thing I forgot to say was that my favorite part of the whole ending theory was that 90% of the galaxy that was fighting to Earth is now on Earth.
Yeah, see, that's another reason why I think they kind of dropped the ball, because if you look at it closely, the Quarians cannot, live without their enviro suits. The Turians, I don't think they can eat human food, and the Reapers have decimated all of Earth's, surface, so now there's no resources for anyone. So, you know what, they're all just kind of screwed, if you think about it.
And I'm pretty sure that would just end it with the Krogan army killing everyone. So
yeah, because the Krogan army would eat them all. Because in my game, I didn't have Rex. I had Reeve. And Reeve was going to kill us all anyway, so might as well do it now.
So we were talking earlier before the podcast about just a little bit about what this DLC contained, and we kind of got on the theory that it could be showing different aspects of what the ending was from another player's or another character's point of view. So what do you think about that?
I think it's basically going to be during the montage where, for example, when Shepard's jumping into the core for synthesis ending, you have, the dramatic music playing and you got everything going on, then instead of just flashing back to Shepard, they'll just extend it and flash to all the different characters being like, oh god, we're all going to die, or hey, look how happy we are now.
Or show why Joker isn't actually a war criminal.
Yeah, leading the battle. I think what the ending DLC they're talking about is when they say extended cut, it's not just the post game it's going to be extended. I actually think they're going to add scenes to the main game itself. So remember last week, Lee, when I told you how there was cut audio from the game where it appears like Joker actually came back and helped them all out and maybe picked up the team and left?
Yeah.
that might be something they've added in. You never know. I'm not sure. But they might have added in content that has it make a little bit more sense. But here's the thing that BioWare needs to know. They're screwed no matter what, because this is still going to piss off a lot of people.
Yes.
They cannot
Can't be happy.
Please everyone. Like I'm not pleased with this. Like they pleased me. I'd imagine they pleased you, Lee. There's probably millions of other people that they made happy about this. But there's always going to be that vocal minority that's on the cusp of being a majority that are still going to be pissed off at it because it's not what they want. And that's what this whole ending controversy thing stemmed from. Like, this was not the ending they wanted, so they bitched about it.
Well, really, if everyone hadn't been communicating so much about the ending, like realizing that it was just one ending with a different color, I don't think everyone would be quite as angry as they are right now.
Like, frankly, if you also think of it like this, one of the reasons why they were pissed, and you've all mentioned this as well, is the lack of choice in the ending and how your choices don't matter. But if you think about it, Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 had very similar endings. You didn't have much choice in any of those endings either. In Mass Effect 1, you chose to save the Council or not save the Council. Mass Effect 2, you chose to destroy the Collector base or keep the Collector base. Mass Effect 3, you actually have more choices. You have 3 instead of 2.
Choices.
I never thought about that. But
like, I understand where they're coming from, where, like, all those
Danny?
choices should have mattered. But all those choices you made did matter throughout the entire game itself, not just the ending. Mm-hmm. And frankly, I don't want an ending that branches off into, like, 100 different endings, because that means, like, it makes my ending unique, and it'll make your ending unique and the other ending unique, but then what's the true ending?
Yeah, that's the thing.
What's the true ending of the story?
You're capping off the entire series, so you kind of have to make it so that it is somewhat uniform. And I guess it is that Shepard dies, and I use that term loosely because if you do the destroy ending, you show him taking a breath. So.
And another thing, like that made me happy, but that also kind of like irked me a little bit. Like, if you're gonna kill him off. Like, don't give he might be alive, because that's just gonna make you ask more questions, which is probably what BioWare wanted. But that's unfair. Like, come on.
Well, still. At the very end, when you get the little secret, I guess, with the grandpa and his child, they're talking about how it was the entire story. So really, that's one closure. You could still have all the other endings as long as it comes back to that one thing about the story.
And also, I mentioned this to Lee last week, and I don't know if you know this, Will, but the old man who was talking, Buzz Aldrin was voicing him.
Really?
That was Buzz Aldrin. That blew my mind when I read that.
I can hear it now. Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah. But I also liked that ending as well, where it showed the little kid and the grandpa talking, because that made it feel like that's exactly what it was. It was just a story you were reading or playing or interacting with. Like, I understand, like, you're supposed to, like, get invested into a game and all that, but in the end, it's still just a story.
And isn't that exactly what it did to get us invested in the game? Because we were still talking about it, and it's been out for how long?
Exactly.
People are still discussing this, so I think that's exactly what they wanted, regardless of whether or not people were angry about it or not.
They're still getting publicity.
Like, a week and a half after the ending, Casey Hudson came out and said, like, we wanted an ending that would be memorable. Oh, well, I think they did that. They did that on flying colors.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's time to move on to another topic, so.
So we all are in agreement on that.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The next topic is just basically, and this isn't confirmed, but basically, hints at the PS4 and the Xbox 720, or whatever they're going to be, the next gen consoles from both Microsoft and Sony, are saying that used games will be banned on the console. So, that's obviously big news, because most of the game companies, at least that I visit, pretty much thrive on used games. So,
yeah. Let me ask you this. Do any of you know Michael Pachter?
No.
Okay, he's a video games analyst whose predictions are wrong all the time, which is what makes him really funny to read on the internet. But he actually said something about this whole thing that really made sense. If they're going to do this, if they're going to put this anti-used game measure into their consoles, they both have to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They both have to, because, like, if one doesn't but the other does, GameStop is not. They're going to refuse to sell that console, because that's going to completely destroy GameStop.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot if you were
exactly.
either Microsoft or Sony.
If you're like, this is one of the reasons why you couldn't find the PSP Go in GameStop. Well, that and the fact that the PSP Go sucked. But you also well, it's true. But because you couldn't buy you couldn't buy physical copies of the games for the PSP Go. It was all digital download. And that's why you rarely see PC games anymore. Like, you see some PC boxed copies there, but it's like a little tiny shelf compared to all these like DS and PSP and console games. And because like the majority of the shit you buy now is on Steam.
That's true.
This is like this used game thing, this used game problem. Like, I understand where the developers are coming from. Like, say, because I know like GameStop gets 100% of the profits of used games, and frankly, GameStop kind of rips you off with used games as well.
Oh, well, that's beyond the point.
But that's actually a whole different topic for the other day. But I don't rely on used games. I buy all my games new. I do have but used games are needed. And a perfect example as to why. I bought a couple months ago, no, it was about a year ago, I bought a game called Lost Odyssey. That's from 2007 or 2008. You cannot find a new copy of that game anywhere.
The exact same problem. I broke out Assassin's Creed a few weeks ago, and I was looking so hard to actually find a person. I finally found a copy of it.
You cannot find older games anywhere. Yeah. So, the only way you can find those in, a reasonable time is if someone who has the game trades it in. Yeah. That's why used games are needed. Used games will always be needed until there is a full distribution or digital distribution model like Steam. And that's not coming for a long time, especially for consoles.
My main concern about this would be, and I'm going to drop some economics on you here.
Economics.
How is this going to affect the actual cost of the game? Because I don't really know how to word this. I want to say equity of the game is severely decreased when I pay $60 for it, and then as soon as I buy it, it is utterly worthless to everyone else other than myself. Right? Yeah. I can't sell it to anyone unless, other than Joe Schmo on the street, or if I wanted to sell it to somebody else, right? I can't sell it to an actual company. So why would I pay $60 for a game that I'm not going to get any return on in the future? Unless I wait 20 years and somebody wants this classic game that you guys are looking for, right? But then there's no way to get a return on that. So game prices would have to come down. Even though they are cheap, they would have to come down if used games are not allowed anymore.
Okay, that's another thing, and this is why I think Steam has done a great job about it, because, Will, have you ever had to deal with EA Origin?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. EA Origin, for all of our listeners, wow.
Readers, no one reads.
For all of our listeners who don't know, that's Electronic Arts, that's their downloadable store. They charge $59.99 for new copies of their games. You should not charge full price for digital games, because you're cutting out the middleman, you're cutting out manufacturing, you're cutting out all of that. And if there are no used games, game prices have to come down, because if there are no used games, that's a sign of a digital future. We're going to be going all digital soon. That's just inevitable. Because there's also rumors that the new Xbox coming out isn't going to have an optical drive. It's just going to be all digital downloads. That would be kind of weird. But if used games do come down, if used games do go, that means we're in for a digital future, and they should start preparing for that now by charging less for games. Because if you're buying something digitally, you should not pay full price, because you don't have to deal with the manufacturing, you don't have to deal with the packaging, you don't have to deal with selling it to retailers, you don't have to deal with any of that crap.
Oh yeah, I agree with that, but there's I don't know. It just seems like the world's not ready for a digital market, because
no.
You have enough people that have access to internet, and yet it's still not 100%. As soon as you have 100%, you can rationalize going 100% online.
Yeah, because there are some people who still play, they don't have Xbox Live, they don't have PlayStation Network, they don't have a constant internet connection on their computer. They don't have that. So
yeah, I have an
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Will, but that's another thing about one of the rumors on these new consoles is that each game you buy is tied to your online account.
Oh God.
So if you don't have an online account, you can't play any game at all.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know the majority of the people in the world now do have internet, but that majority is not 98 or 100%. Unless it's 98% to 100%, you have to have physical copies. You have to be able to let those be shared with other people. Because one of the biggest analogies that you have is the whole used car things. You don't see GM or Chrysler or all them flipping shit over their used cars being sold. And here's the thing. A used game is not a lost sale for anybody else. In fact, it could potentially be a new sale. Because if you're buying a used game, that game has already been sold, so the developer did already get that sale of the game.
That's true.
And plus, if you're buying a game used, for example, if you didn't know if Portal 2 would be great, even though we all know it's freaking awesome. Yeah. If you didn't know if Portal 2 would be great, and you didn't want to waste like money on it, you buy the orange box used and you play Portal 1, and you find out Portal 1 is fantastic. So then you go buy Portal 2 new. Like if you buy used, chances are, like this has happened to me, like a lot of times. If you buy used, you're gonna buy new in the future.
Yeah, that's true, and I think it kind of relates back to the whole struggle with like the music industry. And I know it's not the same product, but there's always a threat to the music industry in the last, like, I'm going to say 30 years or so. There's always been something that's like, oh, you have to stop this or you're going to kill the music as you know it kind of thing, like with recording tapes off the radio.
Oh, yeah, we all know how that went.
Yeah, and now it's like, it was like Napster and stuff, and I guess that's still continuing, like downloading programs to a lesser extent. But then there's stuff
we need something like iTunes, man. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, we need something like iTunes that's, I guess iTunes works, but it doesn't, I don't know. It's hard to explain. There's
a lot of variables involved. There's a lot of variables.
Steam is it is pretty much perfect in what it does right now, but then again, it is PC gaming, and PC gaming is generally like a hardcore audience. It does cost a lot of money, and generally you don't have casual PC gamers, and I know there's always exceptions to the rule, but that's not technically a generality.
Oh, just sorry to interrupt you, but to all of our listeners here, I'm going to start talking incredibly slow, because I noticed I've been talking a little bit too fast.
Really?
No. I'm very sorry. All right, go on. I just thought of that and just had to say it.
So, one thing I'm thinking, it was funny because I don't buy used games, like you said, unless it's an old copy of something, and it obviously is cheaper, and I'm not going to, like, pay more money if I have the option of used or not. But what I don't get is companies like GameStop and stuff like that just crack open the packaging of, let's say, the newest Modern Warfare kind of thing, and then close it and mark it as used. And they do that, so.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that too. One thing that, sorry, go on.
That's not something I would really approve of, but, I was thinking
if I get that job at GameStop in the summer, I'm changing their whole culture.
The next Call of Duty that comes out, I was thinking, like, people always say, say your preferences with your money, your voice is behind your dollar kind of thing. So I was thinking of buying the next Call of Duty used maybe a couple of days after it comes out, depending on what deals or first day kind of like special, the collector's edition thing they have.
And hey, you don't have to worry. Activision doesn't have an online pass.
If they have something good in the collector's edition, and I mean really good, like night vision goggles good, then I'm going to.
I see what you did there.
Then that's awesome. Okay.
That was actually a really, really, really good promotion they did.
It's technically the only, and I'm going to sound like a total COD fanboy, but it's the only. Other than Black Ops, because who needs an remote control RCXD with a camera on it? Yeah. It's like, that's literally just going to sit there and gather dust until I want to look up somebody's skirt or something like that, right? But then I have to drag around an RC car to do that, so it was totally impractical, but.
The solution to the used game problem is exactly what you talked about with the collector's editions, is give new players something that makes you want to buy it over the used game. Because the used games are much more convenient to buy if you don't have a lot of money. And a lot of people, even with money, I have money since I have a job, so I have money, but I still sometimes buy used. But if you, give more incentive, for example, the Mass Effect 3 Collector's Edition, I bought the Collector's Edition because there was a lot of stuff in there that I wanted. I love, I haven't even got the soundtrack yet, I haven't signed up for it yet. But I love the art book. I love the steel case that came with it. I love that little comic book that came with it as well.
Danny,
what's up?
You said Mass Effect 3 Collector's Edition, right?
Yeah.
How much did the steel thing cost you?
It cost me $90.
The Collector's Edition wasn't that much. Yeah, it was $90, which is not too bad considering. For some reason, I thought I saw 120 somewhere.
No, I think that's the Digital Deluxe Edition on Origin.
Oh, okay.
See, there you go again. Origin. Kicking people in the ass one day at a time.
Because I just find it funny because I went to a Future Shop a couple days ago to pick up a copy of Mass Effect 3, and I was just standing in line, and a guy comes over and here, you want one of these? And it was one of the steel collector's edition cases. It was it's free. So sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Which
the
one
collector's
was,
editions are running low now, so I think they can just give them away for actual copies.
It was
I'm not sure.
Resistance 2. I bought it really late, and so I was like, do you still have the collector's edition for this? And they were like, oh yeah, we still got some kicking around. So I pretty much got the collector's edition for like the same price I would the regular game. And it had like a bunch of stuff in it.
You got that little Chimera action figure, didn't you?
Oh my god!
Yes, it is sitting
Son of a bitch.
on my shelf, and I'm looking at it right now.
God, that's the Mass Effect 3 collector's edition. The collector's edition is the only one I've purchased in, I think, ever.
I'm looking right now at the Uncharted 3 Special Edition, the Mass Effect 3 Special Edition, the Fallout New Vegas Special Edition, the Bully Special Edition, which is an awesome game, by the way.
Well, aren't you just so special?
That's just the ones I have sitting in the area here. But anyway, I think
let's not forget to include the Grand Theft Auto 4 Special Edition.
Oh, I don't have that sitting here, but yes, I did buy that. And I'm also, next time I go into GameStop, I'm going to pre-order the Grand Theft Auto 5 Special Edition, even though I don't think it's announced yet. But I am so excited for that. But anyway, I think it's time to move on to
that's an entire podcast later.
Yeah, our final topic. We'll do a Grand Theft Auto podcast if people are interested enough in that other than me. So, I mean, if you guys are interested in that other than me. But anyway.
I want to touch on Assassin's Creed at some point next time, too. I want to touch on the new Assassin's Creed at some point next time, too.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. But, our final point here, I think it was yesterday, the day before these were announced, right?
2 days. Nope, yesterday.
Oh, are you talking about Project Glass?
Yeah, Project Glass, we're just going to talk about, like, augmented reality glasses, or, like, something like that, in general.
We're going to reference Google a lot, because they're the ones who were coming up with it.
Yes, if you didn't see it, Google I think it's just, like, kind of teasing their technology kind of thing. It's not an actual product as of yet, but, it is just kind of like an augmented reality interface that's pretty much like in your eye.
So cool.
There's a whole video of like where the guy's going through the town and doing different things like that. But
there's so many problems with it though.
First of all, I want to ask, is it a viable product, and would you buy it if it was reasonably priced?
If it was reasonably priced,
maybe.
Yes. No, if it was reasonably priced and I had the money, sure, it's a cool thing. I might as well buy it. Is it a viable product? No. Because I can guarantee you, at least 20 people a day are going to be getting hit by cars on the street. Just throwing that out there right now.
That is a risk.
Yeah. That is a very big risk. Because there were so many times in that video when I was watching, I was like, oh man, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this guy's killed. Or he's standing at the top of a skyscraper, he gets a text message on his little glasses, and he leans over, doesn't realize he's leaning over, and he falls.
And Will, you're probably, you're a musician, so you probably noticed this too, but he's playing the ukulele backwards, so. That kind of made me angry. But, also, there was another part that was funny, and I think that Will actually like this, but, he took the picture of, like, with his, he's like, oh yeah, that's a good picture, so he took a picture of it, and he was like, I'm gonna share that with my circles. And then I actually said out loud, watching it by myself, yeah, so all 5 people can see it.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, that shouldn't be so funny.
Okay, so, next question is, what do you think, like, the hardware should be? Should it be, like, actual physical, like, glasses on your face?
Well, I have no problem with glasses.
Well, just, or like an eyepiece, like that was, or like Garrus from Mass Effect 3 kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Or
if it's just regular glasses, or if it's the stuff that Garrus wears, I'm buying that. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm happy with glasses.
But if it's like a really obtrusive thing, like on your eye, that makes you look like a total weirdo, it's not worth it.
How would that work with glasses?
I think
if you're wearing actual glasses, you mean, like you?
Yeah, like me.
Well, I'd imagine like each lens will be like a see-through like LCD screen or something like that, or like an LED screen, and there'll be buttons on the side of the glasses that you'll be able to press, and they'll be able to like send a text message. It'll be like a Bluetooth microphone as well. I'd imagine that. But I think the stuff we saw, well, it's obvious the stuff we saw in the video is a prototype. I do not think they would release glasses that make you look so stupid.
I think what Will was actually asking is, how would this physically fit over your glasses that you're actually wearing before? So I think that if it was actual glasses, I would assume that they would have like some sort of prescription option. But if it was an eyepiece, I think that would be a lot worse. Like you probably would have to have some way to hook that onto your glasses or some way. And I don't even know how that actually works. Is it something that's in front of your eye, or is it projecting it like into your eye? They never actually said that.
Pretty sure it'd be something in front of your eye.
Yeah, I don't think because if it was something that projected into your eye, that would be incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
Well, that's really what I was wondering, right?
God, you have to change so many tiny light bulbs.
It's just like, this little tiny microscopic tweezer is kind of...
But I think technology has come far enough that they can actually make glasses that you can, that you can fit them to your eye and make it so that they act like your real glasses. Mm-hmm. Just like a lens option or something like that.
Over the summer, I was working down at the pool, and I had little sunglasses clip-on things. Guess something like that could work.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But,
there's a power source though, but, too much think. Ow, brain. Hurting, think. Ow, okay, I'm good.
I'm gonna blow your mind here kind of thing, but what if it was like a contact lens?
That would be, oh wow.
I don't think that would work, really.
I think if you got it, if it was properly adjusted to, it'd be a lot of testing and a lot of work, and we're probably...
That's 30 years from now, man.
Yeah, but still, wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be, but again, that's 30 years from now.
Yeah, that'd just be a pain. Of course, they did reveal the, flexible tablet a little while ago, too.
Flexible tablet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I saw a video of that. It's one that you can, I think it was by Nokia or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's probably Nokia.
So it is virtually indestructible then, just like every other one of Nokia's products.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but what you can do with it, it's like a new technology in the tablet where you flex it and it opens the app by you flexing it. You can move the icons and the cursors over just by flexing and tilting. It's actually really cool.
It's weird. Okay. Anyway, next question about this.
Sorry, I'm actually laughing right now because the Buffalo Sabres have just been eliminated from the playoff race, and my brother's probably crying in a corner right now.
Anyway, how programmable or customizable would you like this thing to be?
They will not make it customizable.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's going to be entirely proprietary.
Okay, let's assume that Google has released this and the extended period of copyright or whatever has gone by, and now everyone else is releasing an augmented reality eyewear piece. Would you, your ideal situation, what would you make it?
Apple releases something called the iEye.
I'm going to ignore you, Danny. It's probably something more I don't know, maybe a news channel updates so you get traffic and stuff. I don't know, more utilitarian than...
No, but that's the thing. Are you talking about news broadcasting where it broadcasts an actual news broadcast in your eye?
I don't know, maybe just
Because that's even worse than what we were thinking before, because that's going to be really obtrusive, and that's going to distract you even more.
I'm thinking overall, if this does happen, I prefer it to be something more utilitarian than actual just sit back, relax, play Angry Birds on your face.
On your face?
Angry Birds on your face.
So what about the actual look of what you're seeing on there? How would you customize that to a certain degree? If you could jailbreak it like you could with an iPhone, would you change it to anything specific?
No.
No, I would keep it. I would keep it as is, because it's probably going to be because everything now is trying to be as simple as possible.
Yeah.
They're trying to make everything as simplistic as possible. Look at the iPhone. That thing. They continuously try to make it so that you just have to tap once and you can do whatever the hell you want. So I think what Google's going to be doing is they're going to make it so simple that you wouldn't want to change it.
I would have mine so that in the bottom or in the top, left corner, there would be a constant GPS feed with myself as an arrow, following myself through the city. And I would also have some sort of, health bar sort of thing, or the condition of my clothes kind of thing.
You get punched in the arm and then your health bar goes down.
And then I would have my equipment slot, and then with my wallets and
got a thirst bar.
All of a sudden you have a camera on the glasses, and then you pull up a gun and it becomes a real life first person shooter.
Just go punch some trees.
I would also make it so like everyone's name appeared above their head, like online.
Oh God.
Yes.
And then one person falls, you go up and teabag them. The legacy.
Or you could go with a classic, like, Fallout VATS display over everything. Like
No, I can see serious implications for video games.
Oh, that would be awesome. Like,
one thing that I thought of, I was just going to the bathroom at the university today. I was like, what
You thought about this going to the bathroom?
What if someone incorporated this on a paintball field?
That would be really cool.
Yeah, that just went through my head.
Like, it keeps track of your ammo and it keeps track of, like, everything.
Like, not even just paintball, just like laser tag even.
Yeah, it's another good idea. But I like what you said earlier about how, like, they can connect this with actual video games as well, so that when, like, say, like, Call of Duty 10, because you know that's coming. So Call of Duty 10 comes out, and they've teamed up with Google, and they don't have a heads-up display in the game. All they have is the gun. The heads-up display is the glasses.
That could be cool.
It get expensive.
Oh, yeah, it would get expensive. Well, I can imagine, but by then the price of it would probably go down, because price always goes down over time.
Collector's edition.
Yeah. Or they end up having night vision heads-up displays.
Exactly.
So the next thing I was going to wonder is, what about, like, privacy concerns or even ads on the interface?
Okay, if they do this, there cannot be ads on the interface.
It'll be plastered with ads.
It's going to be plastered with ads, but...
Find singles in your area.
Yeah, like, there are going to be advertisements all over this thing, but they shouldn't do that, because that's going to be a really big safety concern. Like, there's already safety concerns I brought up already about you being distracted, and if they have really intrusive ads, that's just going to make it worse.
One way to go around that, though, is to have, like, a basic motion sensor in it, and then when you come to a stop, then you get bombarded by ads. That's it.
That would be a good idea, but I'd imagine, like, that would be really hard to implement into a device that small.
Yeah, true.
But, like, again, like, we probably thought the same thing with computers 40 years ago, and look where we are now.
The thing about that is, you could probably utilize some sort of, like, cloud interface so that it could have just like a hard drive, maybe of your computer at home, and I could access that, all the information you have, just from that. So,
yeah,
it wouldn't actually be too intensive. It would just have to have like a high processor kind of thing in order to be able to do everything at once. But what about I know people are having problems with this. I guess it's worse in like actual city areas because we don't actually live in a half decent. Anything you would resemble a city, but
I think we have a barn.
But
or are you talking about where we all live?
Yeah, I mean, like,
we're not going to disclose that, but let's just say it's a hellhole.
But I mean, like, people in like New York or Los Angeles or something like that. If you have a smartphone with like location services on, and you walk by like, let's say a Starbucks, they'll send you a code that'll be like, oh, for the next 5 minutes, 20% off Starbucks, just because you're here, right?
Well, and then, like that'd be good. Also, it has to be like a very quick ad, like it's just like a notification that comes up, $5, free latte for the next 5 minutes, done. That's it. Nothing else, no like long line of text, just a pop-up and gone.
Yeah, but are you going
to... Because there's no way to miss it either, because you're looking right at it.
So let's say we go to downtown Toronto kind of thing, and we're just walking down the street. Are we going to get spammed by like every single company on this street that we're walking down that's, oh, come here, come here, come here?
I suppose you could get some kind of filter, though.
You pretty much have to have location services on, right, if you're going to be using this, because it needs to know where you are and where everyone else is. Otherwise, it's useless. It's just like a cell phone, right?
I just fear this is going to be abused by advertisers so bad. And that's going to prevent me from getting this, too, if they do release this at a good price. Because I don't want to I don't want to look at advertisements all day. I come home and do that when I watch TV.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I think that just advertising in this, like, a new media thing in general is another topic we could talk about, even though that would be like totally beyond our realm. But it's definitely something that I, as a journalist, am learning, because we pretty much need to overhaul everything the media is doing, because it's not working right now. I wouldn't be surprised if within 10 years you don't even see a TV newscast or a radio newscast or anything like that, if everything is completely different than what you're seeing now. Just as a little heads up from what I'm seeing working in school.
Lee McConnell, predicting the future.
But
Oh, Lee, I need you to do me a favor. Can you help me write a damn good resume for the McMaster campus newspaper?
Is this the place to do this?
I think I could. And since you
Okay,
didn't want,
thank you.
I love how you're just like, oh, I don't want people to know where we live, and then you just name drop McMaster, one of the biggest
I don't care.
universities in Canada.
I go to the University of Wealth. We all live in Grimsby. There you go. Thank you.
They don't know our last names, so what are they going to do?
Danny lives in the big white house on the corner. No.
The big white house with blue shutters and a big pine tree in the front yard.
272 Main Street. But,
And then if you go there and you find, like, a convenience store, you're in the right place.
That wasn't funny.
Wasn't supposed to be. Because 272 Main Street is a convenience store, I believe.
is it?
It's around there.
I just pulled that number out of my ass, but,
I think that's down to where the Welcome Center is.
but yeah, so just because that got completely esoteric. But anyway, I think augmented reality glasses, my initial reaction was shut up and take my money, but I think that's what it is. If they came out with it tomorrow and it was like, let's say, I don't even know what the price range would be for one of these things. I'm hoping under 500.
Right now, like, here's a really good way to look at it. Sony has something right now called their heads-up 3D display or something like that, and it's like eyewear. Like, you actually put it on your head, and there's two LED monitors in there. It's two 3D LED monitors. That's only $799.
Only $799.
Well, yeah. Well, keep in mind, like, that's that's kind of a futuristic technology there, because like you're not wearing like a heads-up display, but you're wearing a TV on your face. And so
I just picture people walking in the street with like virtual boys on their face. It's like, oh, my headache is so bad. People would have to administer like Advil or Tylenol directly into your brain in order to suppress the headache that you're gonna get from the eye strain.
But yeah, oh crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. Daniel! Hold on, let me think.
Yeah, but while you're thinking,
Oh wait, no, I remember what I was gonna say now. If they release this thing tomorrow, it's definitely gonna be insanely expensive. Like, I'd say about maybe $2,000 minimum. However, if they released it, like, let's take solid state storage for instance. 2 years ago, getting a 64 gigabyte solid state hard drive was about $400. Now a 64 gig solid state hard drive is about $99. So price obviously goes down really fast. So I'd imagine 2 years from now, something that they have, like the thing that they were showing now, I would say it would be at least $500 to $600.
well,
Maybe.
the thing with computer parts is you kind of got to look at what's is it. There's an invisible line that you have to kind of watch for of when has a certain thing crossed that line of obsolete or not, right? And I don't think that actual like spinning hard drives have passed that line yet. I think solid states are actually still like advanced, but once they become cheaper and they actually become more known kind of thing, then they'll be more viable if you're actually going to buy it. If you're going to make your own computer, I'm going to recommend solid state all day, every day. But right now, if you're just going to look like to replace something or have a portable hard drive or just something that sits on your desktop, I'm going to say you don't really need anything like that right now. And that's kind of the way all computer parts work. So
Here's another comparison you can use. Look at Kinect for Xbox 360. When that thing was first announced, that thing, like, people were like, whoa, that thing is really cool, except for me, because I just thought the thing was going to be another gimmick. Lo and behold, it
which
was.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But when that thing was first announced, people were like, whoa, that's pretty cool and all that. And they apparently took a lot out of it, because what they showed at E3 3 years ago was really advanced. What they showed was just like, that's like the best case scenario of what they could do. So that thing was going to cost them a crap load of money. And like, look at it now, it's $149, and like they're making a profit on that. Some guy tore the whole thing apart and it's only like $70 for all the components. So price has gone down. Another instance.
That's true with every electronic, though. If you tear it apart, it's definitely not worth what they're pricing it. What was it that somebody released a figure that it was like if the iPad was made in North America, it would be like $10,000?
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah.
But look at the PlayStation 3 as well. When that thing first came out, it was $599 US.
It was more than that. I paid $700. I paid $700 for mine.
Oh, really?
Yep. And that was like, it was a month after it came out.
Well, look at it now. So like it was that expensive then. Now they're using better chipsets. So they're using like a smaller chip to make it so that it's more energy efficient and it costs significantly less. So the technology always decreases in price over time. So if they wait 2 years for this augmented reality glasses, it's going to be a lot cheaper as well. That's why they're probably not going to release it now, because the tech that's going to be in the glasses that you're going to need is going to be insanely expensive.
I honestly can't see the general population wearing these things all the time.
That's also another thing. I don't see this thing catching on either.
I would wear it. I would have no shame. Like, I wouldn't be ashamed at all to wear that thing. I would just be like, yeah, I'm badass, deal with it. And,
well, if we lived in like a sci-fi world, I can see people wearing that. But, I could see people wearing the concept art that Google released where it looks like a futuristic Star Trek communication device on your head.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone's gonna walk around and look like LeVar Burton.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, I can't see myself wearing that. And also, however, there is the Google factor. Google is a well-known company, and they have a lot of money. They can market this thing, like, big time. So that's another thing. That's why, like, if it was going to sell well, it would be because of Google. However, if Google doesn't market this thing, or there's so much bad press around it, like it causes headaches, it causes a lot of, like, people that, like I said, are killed by getting hit by cars. If there's a lot of negative press behind it, people won't buy it.
We'll just wait till Apple releases the iEye. And that'd be awesome if they actually called it the iEye.
Hey, see? I started something there. There we go.
I can see them doing that.
But, yep, so I think that's pretty much it.
And then they released they released the new iEye 3 years later with just a better camera.
A better camera, yeah. A bigger camera with a light on it. And
the iRetina.
The retina, with the retina display. Your eye can't distinguish what you see.
iCornea.
The camera's actually better than your vision. But, yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for the augmented reality glasses of what we can talk about.
With that camera, you're seeing other light in the electromagnetic spectrum.
Yeah, you see,
You're seeing infrared. You're seeing gamma rays.
I would hope we weren't seeing gamma rays, but who knows what the future holds. But,
that's a topic for another day.
Danny, would you want to announce the Twitter account that we have for this?
Okay, so for all of you who listened on our last podcast, which hasn't been put up yet, so that was kind of redundant there.
I'm slacking, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But when we put up episode 4, which is coming up very soon, I mentioned that we were going to be, I was creating a Twitter account for this, and I have. So we can be found, it's at NERDcast Podcast. Very, very unique name. No one has ever thought of it before. And the Nerd in Nerdcast is capital N, capital E, capital R, capital D, just like you find on our YouTube, like our YouTube videos. That's how it's spelt. And the account is going to be used by Lee and myself. And if Will ever gets a Twitter account,
I think
Will will be
somewhere. I don't know.
There you go. And can we please get Mark a Twitter account?
Oh, God.
Can we please? His wit is perfect for 140 characters. 3,000 tweets in, 2,500 of them about the Leafs and Rush.
3,000 tweets in and he's still on one rant.
He's ranting about the Leaf season.
But yes, I'll probably put the links in the description or something like that. We're still deciding on a podcast hosting website, one that actually, the free version works fine. Maybe eventually we'll get a paid version if you feel like throwing a few bucks our way just because you're that nice of a person.
We'll start a Kickstarter account. There we go.
Yeah, rolling in the millions.
Sorry to interrupt. But for those of you who actually follow Nerdcast on Twitter, I mentioned how there was a problem with our name. Like Nerdcast is taken by another person who has 10,000 followers and actually has a podcast called Nerdcast. Lee and I were discussing this, and we came up with a very, very, very logical conclusion. Fuck that. We're keeping the name.
Yeah.
And we're keeping the name until some Russian guy comes knocking on our door telling us to change it. However, we will need an interpreter to understand what he's talking about.
Until bad things happen, until legal action is taken against this name, we'll keep Nerdcast.
Until we are in court and we have to settle out of court, and all that. it's going to stay Nerdcast. Because, I don't think that's copyrighted.
First, we'll challenge them to a battle of Quake, but
We'll challenge the battle of Rochambeau.
we'll challenge them to a match of Quake, and then if they don't go with that, then we'll silently concede our name. It'll be the podcast formerly known as Nerdcast.
I just love that little Minecraft and Notch reference there. It was really good.
All right, so if nobody has anything to add, I think that's pretty much it for this podcast.
I think that was a great episode. I think that was a fantastic episode.
All right, well, I appreciate the modesty, and everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll hopefully be back soon with everyone else in the Nerdcast cast.
Hopefully episode 4 goes up before episode 5.
If we can wrangle everyone together, we'll get everyone together, but that's it, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Take it easy.